Alright guys, here we are to talk about another episode of the Twilight Zone, Season 2, Episode 8.
I believe that's correct.
That is correct. This episode was unbearable.
I know.
I had to watch it twice because I was like, no, you must have like fallen asleep and like missed the good part or something. Like, there's no good part. It was easily telegraphed. You knew like from the beginning. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, those are robots or whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
she's
a robot too.
I bet she's a robot. And then he goes downstairs, and I'm like, I guess the robots are gone? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, I had a particularly painful experience with this episode.
Sure.
Because it was originally presented to me by Netflix in, like, stretched widescreen or something like that. I took a picture of it.
I wonder why that is.
I had to, like, restart everything to then have it be, like, normal again. But still, like, the frames or something, like it felt like it was something shot on video instead of on film or something. Something like really, I was like, what is going on? I was like, I had like a fever. I was in and out of consciousness. It was this horrible experience of watching this episode.
I didn't have any visual issues with the episode. I had a weird thing with the sound because it immediately starts with like rain and it's outside, then it cuts inside to like silence almost, and then the sound of rain gets added back in a little bit slowly.
Great.
And like that was jarring for a second, but completely forgivable. But what I won't forgive is that this was just a really boring episode.
No, and like her acting, I didn't like at all.
Well, it's because she's a robot, Lee. It was telegraphing. It was like, guilty or bad actor, except it was robot or bad actor.
Robot or bad actor.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be both.
Yeah.
No, I don't fucking...
This was like a recycled shitty version of the Mannequin episode, except with like robots and not as fun.
Yeah, like there was nothing in here, like you never established like a baseline from which you could start to be creeped out. It was just immediately...
Well, no, they did.
Whatever the fuck's
But they
happening
threw it
here.
away immediately. So you had like 1 second where she threw the robot maid down the stairs and like because she's like, I think you're jealous. And like she smiled and turned her head a little creepily. And I was like, oh, cool. What are we going to do?
Right.
Anything? And then they were like, nah. And I was like, oh.
No,
cool.
Like, I thought that the robots were gonna obviously try to like do something, and she has lines in there like you're not controlling, you're being controlled. They run your life, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be that or something like that. And then it's not. The robots are just destroyed off camera.
No, they're
and
subservient. They die.
Whatever her or something.
Eh.
And then, I mean, the mind fuck, the twist, is not only are you a robot for no reason, but now you're the maid instead of the daughter.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, to prove, and like, the whole time Rod Sterling's talking at the end, I'm like, there's no way you could possibly stop trying to save this. What are you saying? In a world where things are things and stuff is stuff, and mankind has to decide what you're going to be, and I don't know what you're talking about. None of this makes sense.
Weak sauce.
This was unbelievably bad to be so close to that, like, iconic Eye of the Beholder episode.
Yeah.
This was weird.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, if...
Maybe this show is bad.
Do you think, like, I don't know how the 50s, 60s worked. Do you think the full season was written out and, like, they would put them in the order they wanted them and then shoot them all? Or do you think they just, like, week to week were shooting them and putting them out? Like,
I have no idea.
I wonder, because that would make me think, because, like, there's a lot of lull points where I'm like, you got too many shitty ones in a row. Are you blindly thinking they're all good? Is that why, like, you're like if you're the creator of something, you are a little too close to it. You might not understand that some parts are bad or not. Do you think they're all gold?
I'm starting to think, as sad as it is, that like the 20-something episodes that are so like good, it was just like a fluke. It was an accident. We just went through churning out episodes week after week where they were just like, someone's written a short story about how robots or something. All right, make it into an episode.
Yeah.
And they just started to keep making them or whatever.
I would have liked like a twist of like they pan out and the whole world is robots and stuff. So like there is like if the daughter wasn't a robot, it's like, well, there is no outside. Everyone just lives in their own little pod here. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
or like everyone else is dead or like something.
Or the house is on like an asteroid or something like that, and they're like the sole survivors of an apocalypse that shattered the Earth or something crazy.
Anything.
Because there's all this stuff in here like. In like a typical Twilight Zone episode, they like tell you all these things because you need to know them.
Yeah.
Because that's the real way. You can be like, what? Don't know. But here, like all of the little incidental dialogue. I wanna go outside and have a life and all that stuff. Well, you can't and all that business.
Yeah.
And it's like, so like, why are you even keeping her inside? What's the point?
A bad twist would be better than a simple obvious thing that's not even a twist.
This was a bad twist.
So like I would much prefer like something outlandish where like, oh, I couldn't have telegraphed that at all. What the fuck was that? Oh, you were dead the whole time. Like
they were all dead. All
robots
robots
would be much better.
like the robots are in control, and this is like a human museum, and you're like the last humans.
That would actually be
something
great.
Crazy.
If like it pans out and it's aliens, and they're like, this one's gonna give us trouble.
No, because like here, like the upshot's just like we love our daughter so much that we're gonna kill or like disable or dismantle all the other robots because she's right. But that didn't work.
And then we're gonna
so
change her to be a maid.
Right?
It doesn't even make sense.
And he
now
says,
his
like,
life's just harder. There's less massages to go around.
I know. And he says like, well, I couldn't bear to, not be. I would never do that. Well, I couldn't bear to not have her around, something like that.
I'll just make her a slave.
I'll just make her a fucking mindless, automaton slave who looks like the fake daughter that we've had for years or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah, bad episode.
God damn.
Bad episode.
Yeah, and like her shit doesn't make sense because she knew the rest of them were robots. So why is she like, stop making her do that and all this weird stuff?
And
like, what?
Why does she have the epiphany so late on? Like, how come I'm not in any of these pictures? When like they all have the memories forever. Yeah. They established that they have like their memories as they are individual people.
They went to great lengths to say I backfilled the memories. Blade Runner.
So she should have like memories all the time, like of looking at this thing, going, you know what? I've never been in this book. It's a little strange.
They should have just given her memories of like a book that was lost in a fire before, and this is like a newer book or something.
And it seemed like they were trying to plant the seed of not knowing they were robots at first, because she's like, "You look just how you did." Why, thank you, ma'am. Like, I'm like, why would you say that? She's a robot. Of course, looks exactly the same. How would she look different? Are you aging them? Like, I'm not gonna add liver spots. Like,
no, and like he literally says, "As you well know, daughter, these are robots that I made. It took me so long. How dare you say that they're bad?" No, everything about this was so bad. This was unusually bad. Even like a bad episode of Twilight Zone is not usually bad in this way. It was so jarring. I'm very upset.
This episode, the one with the lady in her little movie theater and the gambling robot thing that like is like a demon or something.
Those were both better than this one, though.
Those are my three worst.
Those are certainly like among the worst or whatever the hell. But like this one, I would put on like on the bottom with like room separating it to add more later that are like worse and like a gradient. Because like the gambling one and the lady one in like the thing, like you got to go to like other locations. The like aging starlet got to go to like the producer's office and be like, well, I'd never, and do all that stuff. And they had like the misdirection of that and like
this had an exterior shot and like 3 rooms.
Like the leading man came over and was all like, come on, now this is crazy. There was all this other stuff for you to do. Here it was like so like bare and basic. It was so lacking in like anything. I'm very upset.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I'm canceling the Twilight Zone.
This episode sucks. Let us know in the comments below if you disagree. If you do, you're wrong. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.